Hello everybody, Guanyu15 here, and we're going to do a quick walkthrough of a mission of Battletech to show you the little tips and tricks that I learned in the last, I don't know, 30 hours of playing this game. It's pretty fun. If you like tactical games, you like turn-based games where you can get to see lots of numbers and figure out what's going on. This is probably your game. It loads and runs really smoothly, and this is the base game. I don't have Flashpoint Urban Warfare Heavy Metal installed. I'll probably go back and do another playthrough once the winter sale hits, because those will all go on for sale 50% off or so. Let's see. So there's the campaign mode, which is actually pretty open-ended. It's really interesting. It's fun to do, but I am in the middle of a career mode. And let's see. I think we're about... I think we got about 100 days left in our career to maximize our mercenary rating, which if you care about, that's cool. But honestly, this first playthrough, I was just trying to figure out the game and figure out how to go about doing things. So our mech, well, let's just start from there. Let's just start from the beginning here. So let's take a look and see where we're at. The nice thing about this game is, like I said, it's fairly open-ended. Now, I don't know a lot about the Battletech universe, but what I do know came from this game, and it's kind of interesting. There's a bunch of different factions, and you're going to see different color space that correspond with the larger factions. You're going to see some of these spots have, I guess, little irises around them. That means I visited them. So you can kind of see in the past, I think it's a 1200 day mission for career mode, and I got 100 days left. I haven't visited most of them, and each one is fairly unique into itself. Different biomes, different traits, different challenge levels, that kind of stuff that you're looking to see. So we are currently in the what's this one here? I think the Taran. The Taran Concordant. And this is a Paradox game, so like most Paradox games, you're going to find a crap load of information on each screen. And if you can't find it on this screen, just put your cursor over and wait a second, it'll tell you exactly what it means. So you're going to see the place that I'm at now is McLeod's Land, which is as a core planet, the Taran Concordant. McLeod's Land was once devastated by the Reunification War. More recently, its Terran-like geography and distributed populations have made it a budget location for holovid shoots. So they shoot holovids here. Whatever. That's fine. Most of these don't matter, but some do, like inner sphere level civilization is going to say I'm going to find better technology here. You might find better mechs at certain places. Bigger populations are going to give you more chance to find bigger or a more diverse mech warrior pool. But we're getting into it. We're getting pretty deep into the breaches here. So let's just start back and show you a few things that we've learned here. These are our options. You can kind of see there's a few different things going on. So you have your ship that travels between places. This is called the Argo, and you can see we're at week 155, day 1, and we have 122 days remaining right there. I didn't even notice this before. Look at this. You can click on your career mode and it tells you exactly how you get points. Your mech chassis, mech weight class consumption. What is that? Or completion. For each weight class of mech assault, medium, you get a bonus of 10,000 points. Oh, okay. Interesting. I haven't got any of those. Star system completion. Is that like doing each visit 170 stars? Yeah, I'm never going to do that. There's so much. And I didn't feel like see, if I would have looked at all these, I probably would have done it a little bit different, but that's the whole point, right? Is figuring out what's going on. Most of these places, if you're not doing the campaign, you can kind of ignore what she said. You can just do the other thing. This is our ship. This is the main ship that brings our battle mechs to different worlds to take part of campaigns. It's fully upgraded. Each upgrade gives you a little bit of something, which if you don't know what it does, you just click on it, it tells you a little bit more, tells you install, tells you how much average cost is, and what it does for you. We'll stick with this real quick. You'll see the mech tech points and the medical points, and these are generated automatically by the Argo and by increasing or upgrading your ship. The mech tech points make it easier for you and faster for you to make adjustments to your mechs. So you can kind of see I got 8, 9, I got about 10 mechs here that are in production. If we go to storage, you're going to see a buttload more. Like, I got a lot of mechs in storage here. A bunch of completed ones. I don't think I have any assault that are completed, but a couple of heavies down here, the quick draws. And so the main emphasis of why you put them in storage is you don't pay maintenance on them. Every mech that sits here you pay maintenance on. every month, so it increases your bottom line. And well, you don't really want to, so there you go. Let's see. It looks like we're working a little bit on the Awesome and the Orion. I wish that they would let us change the name of these mechs. I mean, I understand what the class is, but it would be cool if I could also change the name, which maybe you can. I just missed it, but I can't find it in here. It kind of looks like you should be able to do it here, but you can't. So, see, it just says Marauder. Can't bet. Oh my God, you can. Oh, you can enter the mech's name. Oh, I'm 100 days in. I just figured this out. I don't believe it. Oh, that's sweet. I don't know what to name it now. I'm overwhelmed. Let's just name it back to the Marauder again, just because I need to go back and figure it out. Okay, so it's just the Marauder. That's fine. Doesn't cost us any money. So let's look at a few mechs. There's different hard points on each mech, which kind of minimizes or maximizes what you can do for each one. So this particular mech, the Marauder 3R, has 2 hard points on this section, 1 missile hard point, and it looks like 2 energy hard points and 1 support on this side. So if I want a bunch of missiles on this, I actually can't. I can only put up to 0 missiles. You can actually see right here, it has 0 missile hard points. So this would be a shitty mech if I wanted to make a bunch of missiles on it. But great if I want to put a bunch of ballistics and energy hard points, which you can kind of see what I did. I got my AC-20, kind of the big gun. I got some small lasers and a bunch of heat sinks. And let's see here. So the heat efficiency is one of the most important things on a mech. You're gonna overheat if you put a bunch of weapons on there. You're gonna overheat in like 1 or 2 rounds, and that's just kind of the way it is. Can't much you can do about it. In fact, I don't even remember after the last mission. Yeah, I think these 2 were injured. Yeah, the last mission we did was actually kind of a beast. So you can kind of see I need to repair these 2 mechs. It's gonna take 2 days once I unpause the game here, which I will do. There we go.
Got a new
And we actually did one of our last financial reports here too. So you can see our operating expenses $718,000 a month. Seems like a lot. It is approximately almost a third of our current funds. Keep our morale normal, but we could do a lot of missions in that month that make up for the money. Our morale is really high because we've been doing everything kind of good at the point. So what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, before we go into this the mission, let's go look at the star map again and just talk a little bit about allies and stuff like that. So the more missions, whenever you do a mission, let's just jump back to the contracts real quick. What you're gonna see is a few things. You're gonna see the difficulty, which is right here, 3 stars, 3 stars, 3.5 stars. You're gonna see the faction that it's for. And you're going to see, when you hit negotiate, who it's against. It's against the local pirate organization. So whenever you do a mission, you have a chance to increase your reputation with that faction. So you see, if I did this, the Taran Concordant, I would gain 9, and with the local pirate organization, I would lose 7. You do this enough, and you kind of get this. Let's go to the reputation section. You get a reputation and who you're working for. You can kind of see, this was the Tarian Concordant, can't say that very well, that I first allied with. So I got the reputation really high. I said, let's give it a shot and see what happens when you ally with it. I allied with it, and what that immediately did was make almost everybody my enemies. So anybody that is their enemy became my enemy. And you can kind of see at the top of the screen up here, their enemies are nearly everybody. So I became enemies with everybody else, which means I can't increase my rating with them. I could, it doesn't make me their enemies, I just can't increase my rating by doing missions with them. So one of the few ones that they were not enemies with was the Free Worlds League. So I flew all over the Free Worlds League, made them our allies too, which made everybody else my enemy too as well. And you can kind of see, like the Lyrian Commonwealth here, they are indifferent towards me. I've done nothing against them, but I'm still their enemy, which means I can't actually increase my rating with them, which is going to kind of suck actually when it comes to the point section at the end, but that's life. What are you going to do? The benefits are, of course, when you're in these sections, you get a lot more money for doing missions, and you can access their special cache of weapons and items and equipment and stuff like that. The downside is, if you are ever like loathed in a system, like I was recently, and I just recently found this out, is I was flying around over here in this the Federated Sun solar system, because I thought, hey, you know, if you click on this, you can kind of see down here the systems that are the system owner and the factions that are active. So you're going to get, of course, a lot of the Federated Suns. They own the land. They're going to have a lot of missions there. And you're going to have fun. You're going to find their enemies are pretty prevalent as well. So I was over there trying to pick up missions for my ally here, but it got kind of bogged down with the fact that I could only do a lot of Federated Suns one, and I wasn't making as much money as I wanted to make. One of the last things to say about allies and relationships, in fact, is that some of them do not have maps where they're like in charge of. So you can kind of see the Federated Suns owns this land, right? One of their enemies is the Draconis Combine. The Draconis Combine, if you look around the map, doesn't have like a parcel of land that they own. There's no section of land that they own. They simply operate within the Federated Suns land. You can kind of see they're pretty active. If you look down here, they're pretty active in almost every single instance, and that was my point. I was going to go there and try to work for them for a little bit, but they just didn't have enough missions to make it worth it. I mean, traveling between systems is a beast. You can kind of see, like, I'm here. If I want to just go over to here to the Pinyard, it takes me 15 days. That's a long time when you're starting to move around the map, and it doesn't get any easier. Like moving to here takes oh geez, we're fully upgraded, so it's pretty quick. It's kind of cool the way they move. You move to a jump ship, and the jump ship does jumps to move you along the way, but that's neither here nor there. Let's see here. So let's jump. We'll just talk about mech warriors real quick. Our mech warriors are pretty good at this point. Well, almost all of them are maxed out. There's two things to note about mech warriors is you're going to get the four things, right? The gunnery, the piloting, the guts, and the tactics. So each of them has a specialty here and a specialty here. You can choose between two specialties at level 5 and one specialty at level 8. So Guan here, he specialized in multi-targeting, so you can fire on different mechs in one turn, and sure-footing, which means when he's entrenched, he gets a lot of stability damage. I wouldn't have picked this one had I known it. It doesn't seem as good.
Yeah.
Down here you can see Hugs. He specialized in Bulwark, and down in Tactics into Sensor Lock. And I don't love Sensor Lock other than the fact that I love what it gives you over at the other end of the Tactics. And then over here he specialized in the Master Technician, which is actually pretty good. It gives you a +1 to initiative and removes 1 bar of stability damage when you're reserving. The +1 to initiative is pretty key, pretty hot. And it actually looks like we can upgrade a few of these. Let's just make sure. Most of our guys are fully upgraded. But you gain experience from going on missions, and he's almost upgraded, so this will give you a little bit of a chance to see what the upgrade does. If I give him the last level of gunnery, he gets another 2.5% chance of weapon hit. Over here he gets another health point. Depending on what mechs you're running, this overheat threshold is pretty important, so a lot of mine have pretty high guts. And I really like this called shot mastery. It makes me extremely happy when I one-shot a heavy mech. And maybe we'll get to that when we do a mission real quick. But for him, I'm just going to give him the extra health because I've put so much time into these guys that if they die, it kind of sucks.
Receiving you.
Let's see. What do you want? Let's give you one piloting. And there's some points, I think it's around the 6th point, that become really good. Like piloting on 6, you can see what it gives. It gives him a plus 17 point, or it gives a plus 20% max sprint speed, which is actually really useful, especially early on, or when you're trying to chase down rogue mechs.
Awaiting orders.
I think everybody else is pretty much leveled up
Ready
as much
for
as they can. That's true.
I'm here.
He's out for 9 days, and I guess we should talk about the medical points. Whenever your warriors become injured, and he's one of my best guys. He's got, not only does he have the coolant vent, but he's also got the bulwark and the multi-targeting, which are 3 of the strongest, if you ask me. The medical points, the more you increase them, it shows how quickly they get healed from their wound. So if I had 2 medical points, this would be 45 days or so for recovery. But since I'm at 12 medical points, he should be back in a little under 9 days. And you kind of see he's got a buttload of experience and nowhere to put it, just because he's been with me for so long. He's been on 76 deployments, and he's pretty much just maxed out, nothing else to do. So I haven't been using him as much, just because I've been trying to level up my other guys. Okay, so let's roll into an actual mission and see what we're doing here. We're going to the contracts, and we'll look at what we got. There's a bunch of lower level ones. 2s and 2.5s, but I can't do these because I am their enemies, and when you're the enemy, they will not let you do their missions at all. They're like, just stay away, asshole, we don't want you. So our choices are here between the forward observers, bounty hunting, and save the prototype, and it gives you a little bit of a description of what it actually is here. So let's take a look at forward observers, and you can actually see they're all for this Taurian Concordant, which I would love to work for somebody else, but I kind of made the mistake of making everybody else my enemy, so it's not really useful. Overall, I haven't found that allying with somebody is really great. Sure, it gives you access to their specialty items, but I haven't found any that I've really wanted to purchase that were amazing that I couldn't really kind of find on the battlefield. So had I done this in another time, I probably would have or next time I do it, I should say, I'll probably just increase my reputation with a bunch of them, but not ally with anybody, because then you don't make anybody your enemy, and you can actually increase your reputation with everybody. But let's take a look. So our forward observers here. Our scouts have observed a Capellian military units covertly surveying military and industrial targets. Increased activity in the Capellian government near several priority factions suggests a strike is coming soon. We're tasked with intercepting the scout lance, identifying targets, and eliminating before report back. And your little boy on ship tells you a little bit, we don't have any intelligence about other possible enemy forces on the ground command, so keep your eyes open. And it tells you basically two things that are fairly important. This is a battle. Your objective is engage and defeat a lance of enemy units. The stand-up fight, so frontline combat units are recommended. And it tells you the place that it takes place, the lowlands, the biome that it's going in. The lowlands biomes feature rolling in hills and gentle slopes, as well as thick woodlands to provide cover. Areas of marshland offer increased stability. All those are important. So if there's like if there's a desert biome and I'm trying to bring my mechs in that generate a lot of heat, it's going to overwhelm me pretty quick. Conversely, if there is an ice biome and I bring all my mechs that generate a lot of heat, they're going to be able to fire all their weapons a lot quicker, which is kind of nice. Lowlands just isn't great. I mean, it's fine. It's going to give us a lot of hills and woodlands for cover. And then, of course, the difficulty rating, which is 3. And so it's just a straight-up battle. We won't got to worry about going for money other objectives. Bounty Hunter is the same thing. It's actually identical. And then we got the Save the Prototype, which is an escort mission. Your objective is to reach a rendezvous point, then protect a convoy of units that moves across an exit region. So generally, you're gonna meet up with a few different APC-like units, and you have to. There'll be a fight beforehand. You meet up with them. There'll probably a fight afterhand to keep them alive. We're going to be going into Tundra. Tundra biome is cold boreal forest with icy peaks and barren permafrost. Heat sinks slightly more readily in this biome, but occasionally pockets of geothermal heated hot springs can reduce heat efficiency for any mech that stands on them. So that'll increase our heat efficiency a lot more. Honestly, I'm not sure I want to do that one, though, but let's just take a look. And you can see the max pay or the max salvage. We'll talk a little bit about that real quick. Maybe we'll just do Save the Prototype, because it's an escort mission, which are generally a little bit smaller, and you can kind of see what can happen there. So when you're ready to take a mission, you go ahead and hit this little negotiate button, and it'll let you do a slider between how much money you want, how much salvage you want. You can see at the very max, I can make $1.4 million, and I get 3 random salvages from the mechs that I destroy that they will determine. I get to choose 0. On the other end, I could make just $103,000, and I get 23 salvage, and I get to choose 5 of them. The rest are just randomly assigned to me. Capellian Confederation hates me more, and the Taurian Concordant likes me best. You can also like reduce stuff like okay, so if it's, let's say we do it half and half. Where's our reputation gain? Oh, it says right there. Our reputation gain is 8. Let's say we were being super generous, and we're like, you know what, you guys keep everything. Our reputation gain jumps up to 13. So if you really want to ally quickly with a faction, this is the way to do it. Get your reputation up really high. At the beginning of the game, I was asking for money. I wanted to upgrade the Argo. I wanted better ships and morale and all that stuff. You can see our morale is resolute. We are the highest morale. We gain a buttload of resolve points per round, 25, which we'll talk about in the combat. But as I moved on, and you know, sometimes I do like this, because then I get to choose 3 key points. The higher the difficulty, the better mechs you're going to face. And this 600k is nothing compared to what happens if you could actually put together a few mechs. Because if you could put together a few mechs and sell them, you're going to be making a lot more money. So more and more I've been doing this kind of a thing. I take a little bit of money so I can keep my maintenance. I don't have to sell any mechs. And then I do a lot more scrap and a lot more choice scrap, so I can actually put together some of these mechs that I'm destroying and sell them if I need to make a lot more money. That's why if you look at my mech bay here, we'll go ahead and look at the storage. And let's just do it in this heavy. This is a quick draw that I have that is out of commission. If I want to ready it and put some shit on, I can use it in combat. I can, or I could just sell it for scat, which is 456,000. So, and I think that's just here. Like I think I could actually go. Well, let's check. We'll go to their store here. Store is pretty nice. You can see here you can buy their mechs or mech parts. I've never bought a full mech. I bought like 1 or 2 parts for assault classes that I really wanted. You could buy some equipment, some weapons, and if you were at one of the main sections of the place you're allied, you'd see like an ally specialty store. Maybe we'll get there eventually, but let's go to selling. Let's sell some mechs. And you can kind of see these are the mechs we have that are created, that are ready to go. We could sell we got 2 Wolverines that we put together. We could sell these for 532,000. Similarly, the 4R, we got 3 of these. We could sell these for 512,000. So that's a lot of money. And if we go back to this and we negotiate, where's the escort? This one we're going to do. We negotiate this. Yeah, $1 million is a lot, but if we're doing something like this and we're able, and that's 4 out of 18, and let's say we're given 3 mechs worth of parts and they sell for 400,000, that's going to be 1.2k plus additional parts plus 300,000 or 30,000, 300,000. So that we're going to be netting a lot more, especially if you're in an ally place where you can sell them for a lot more. So I've been I've been doing a lot more salvage than I have payment, and I kind of screwed up that at the beginning a little bit, but that's okay. So let's go accept, and we get the choice to choose our mechs. Now this is kind of where it tells you what, or you can kind of decide what kind of mechs you want. And for a while I was just doing the biggest, heaviest things I could do, which is still kind of where I'm at, but I want something that's a little more that work well together. So this Orion, I put a lot of LRM-15s, which are long-range missiles, and they're all pretty stacked with 3 pluses. So one shot from this guy will pretty much put almost any mech into almost the about ready to fall mode. So I put him there, or I've got this thing, and I really like this as part of my group. I got a Marauder. You can see the heat efficiency is okay too, and I've been generally trying to keep my heat efficiency a little bit better. Now the Awesome here only has a 2 heat efficiency because it's rocking 3 PPCs and a bunch of medium lasers. Now it's important to note that the heat efficiency is based on if you fire everything. So you can see the heat sinking is 60, the Alpha Strike is 126. So if I fire everything, I gain 126 heat, and next round I lose 60. So I can only do that for like 1.5 rounds before everything goes haywire. And I'm just going to take a look between... Yeah, see, every now and then I want to put in this Banshee. I've actually never used it. It seems like it's got a bunch of lasers on it. I mean, it's got a lot of... This is a brawler. It's got a lot of small lasers and a lot of medium lasers. If this thing gets up close, forget about it. It doesn't move very fast, and the heat efficiency blows. But I really like this Victor because it's got this AC-20 on it. This AC-20, with somebody with a high tactics, can one-shot a mech, and we'll show you that. So I like what I have here, I think. I'm going to go into it. I'm going to keep my lower pilots. You know what? I want somebody with a multi-attack. Because last time when I was running into issues, it's going to... Yeah, this guy doesn't have a multi-attack. In fact, none of them did, because I was trying to level them up. And I was kind of disappointed that none of them had any multi-attack. This guy's got a bulwark. Is he the one? Who else do I want? Does he have a breaching shot? I think he might have a... Who's got a breaching shot? Because a breaching shot's pretty badass too. No. Okay. So I'm actually going to run, for the purposes of this little tutorial-like thing... Oh boy, you know what? I kind of want Snack Cake. Oh, I want him here. I see. But he doesn't have multi-shot. Yeah. So you really gotta... I wasn't choosing... what to use on people when I was... He's got the ace pilot. You're gonna have to come out, robot. We're gonna put Snack Cakes in because he's got the... Wait. He's got the coolant. I wasn't really choosing. I was just kind of going through because that's my first playthrough. It is interesting to know that there's a drop tonnage limit. So you can't just take a bunch of 95s. It'll give you a limit of tons. I mean, it's pretty high, so you can take almost everybody that you want. But anyways, let's get into the game. We'll hit deploy, and we'll give it a second before it to load up. It gives us the mech warriors. Here we go. And what I like, I mean, my rig's pretty good rig, but it loads really quickly. So one of my issues with a lot of the games, like Total War games, and most recently was Total War 3 Kingdoms, which is that's my jam, is it would take like a minute to load the game. It would take a minute to load the battle. It would take another minute to get out of the battle. It just bogs it down and you get kind of bored. Here, tells us a little bit about the game. As it loads, says, Commander, this is definitely a contract where speed is the essence. I expect the Capellian folks look into the asset. They'll rally reinforcements to capture research facility.
Command interface initiated.
So we are into it. We drop down. We have friendly fire.
Good to go,
Units under friendly
Commander.
fire. We take a look. This is the capture zone, and we have to. So the first thing is to secure the point and destroy the blocking force. So it looks like there's a blocking force of mechs. And we'll start by sprinting down the road. There's a few things to note as
Position
we
confirmed.
sprint. One is
Position
that
confirmed.
it tells you how many, as you move. Well, first, roads are faster, trees are slower, which just makes sense. You can spacebar to make it move a little faster if you want to watch the animations. I still like the animations. So. But it's going to tell me how many evasive points I have. So you can see this says trees and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different little thingies. The more little hashtags you have or thingies, little tags you have, the harder it is going to be for somebody to hit you in combat. So the first round, I'm going to sprint everybody up.
On my way.
A few people will get behind some cover, and we'll all move in. And it looks like we found some enemies here. We'll see who they are. Ooh, they all move. Okay, so let's look at the initiative order. Well, once it's our turn. They get a chance to go first. The little locust comes in. It's more of a scout mech with usually some missiles on it. He shoots at us with his medium laser and missiles. We lose one of our little evasion things. So every time you're shot at, you lose one of your evasion things. They can go twice because they have some smaller mechs. There's a spider. Comes on over, shooting us with a machine gun, which does minimal damage because it's a machine gun. And you can also see we're kind of involved in here. Okay, let's look at the initiative tag on the top. From 5 is the fastest, 1 is the slowest. Each class has a base level. So like the assault mechs go on 1. You can see I got one guy here. The heavy mechs go on 2. What is the third level? I don't know what the third level is. They go on 3, and then the lighter the mech, the faster they go, unless you have the tactical thing, which increases you a little bit. And you kind of see where they move. It gives you a little number over the guy. One moves on 1, these two move on 2, and retired's up and ready to roll. If we look at our enemies here, we got the spider here. We'll right click on him. He's got a medium laser and a couple machine guns, so he doesn't do much damage, but he's hard to hit. You can see he moves pretty fast. And this guy's got 2 medium lasers and 2 small lasers. The small lasers are generally only when you're in like ridiculously close combat. And then you can also see the 2 red dots on 3. That means there's 2 heavier mechs around that I can't quite see. And what there's one over there, the Griffin. Yeah, so Griffins are kind of a beast. They usually have heavy LRMs, yep, LRM-10 and a PPC. So this guy's gonna hit pretty quick. I don't see the other ones. Oh, there's a guy over here. There's a 55-ton mech that I can't quite see. So what they love to do is try to flank you. Armor sides matter in Battletech, obviously. And I think I can see this guy, and he might actually be my best target. Because while he is entrenched or whatever, he's got this thing, guarded, 20% damage reduction, and he got cover too, so he's got 40% damage reduction. I don't even think I have a chance to hit these guys very good. But let's take a look at Retired. Retired is my support class mech that loves to shadow shower a bunch of people with missiles. And does he have multi-attack? He does. So he can actually use his lasers on these guys as well. The first thing you notice when you move, it tells you a few different things. It tells you your direct line of sight and your missile line of sight. So like if I moved here, I would get forced, which is 20% reduction in damage. And you can kind of see it's a straight red line that heads to the 2 mechs within line of sight. So my line of sight weapons could hit there. And it gives me this like curved line that goes over to this mech. That means that my LRMs, my missiles, could hit that guy. And your missiles can hit anything that you can see. So one of the favorite tactics of the enemy here is to roll up with a bunch of light mechs that are fast that you can't really hit very well, and stay back pretty far and shower you with weapons and PPCs from back here. But for now, I think we'll move here, which is gonna, let's get rid of that. No.
Good
and
to go.
One of the tactical things you can do is reserve, which would move you down a level. So if you want to let them go first, you can go ahead and do that. Like if they move in closer or what have you. So I'm going to move him to here, which gives me cover, and you can see it gives me 1 bar of evasion, and you can kind of rotate to see which side is front. This is important because if people are hitting you from the back, you're going to die quick. You can see my mech over here has 180 armor in the front torso, 120 on the shoulders, and in the back it has 40 armor on the torsos and 45 in the... It doesn't have much in the back, and that's pretty typical for most mechs. So I'm going to move here, and I'm going to face... You can face the way this way. So
Heading out.
We'll run over here, and then we're going to shoot the hell out of this guy. And my hope is that I'll be able to PPC this guy down, so... I don't need a precise shot. We'll just fire... Oh, no, we want a multi-target. Sorry. So we'll multi-target this guy. He'll be our A target. And this guy will be our B target. He's actually the only one I can hit with my medium weapons. It's a pretty low shot. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll just fire like 1 or 2 lasers at these guys if they're too hard to hit to keep my heat down, and it removes one of the evasion bars for one of your bigger guys later on. You can see it generates a little bit of heat, not too bad, a few bars. In fact, we'll lose that next round. I think the cold biome is helping here, so let's give it a shot. See how missiles go flying. It's a lot of missiles going flying. It does very little damage, but what is adding up over here is that he is unsteady. And we'll shoot our little missiles, our medium weapons, which both miss, but gives him his bar of evasion that we're looking for.
That's a miss.
So tactically it goes back and forth. He goes, I go, he goes, I go. If they're on the same initiative bar, we'll see the Griffin come down here and fire his missiles. PPC. PPC hits. His missiles hit a little bit. We were under some cover, so it didn't do as much damage. We did 35 points of damage to somewhere. And here comes in their bigger mech. Luckily he doesn't have any missiles, so we don't gotta worry too much about him. So now we're gonna get 3 chances to go in a row. This guy still got 2 bars of evasion, but I don't think it's gonna be that great. So we'll get snap cakes going. We'll move him on up here, and we'll move him to a point like that. See, it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do. They're trying to move this guy around to fire from my rear, but I'm hoping that by that time this guy will be dead anyway. So, and I am actually going to precise strike, because this is one of my favorite abilities. This precise strike with a guy with full tactics. Ooh, he's actually not very high. I wonder if it's one of my other guys that has an AC 20. I'm going to give it a shot anyways. So, you can kind of see the head. Let's look at the head. There's a few different ways to kill him back. You take out the center torso, which is the heaviest armored. It's got 179 armor and then a 90 internal structure. You got to get through all that to take it out. Take out both legs, which is still pretty hard, but you know, you can get through it. They're easier to hit. Or you can take out the head. The head's got 61 hit points, 45 from armor, and 60 from structural. Take out the head, the pilot dies, you win. Only a 12% chance with my precise strike to hit it, 56% chance to hit the legs, and the torso is the easiest to hit. Sometimes you can also look and see where the weapons are. Like, where's that PPC? That PPC, the LRM's on the right torso, and the PPC, the PPC's on the right arm. So if I want to just try to take out those weapons, like if I'm just having a hard time, I could try to just take out the weapons. It's pretty good, 71% chance to hit, and 130 hit points or so. So we'd probably be able, you know, you can see our AC 20 does 100 damage, the medium laser does 30. It's not too bad if we do hit. But I'm going to take a shot at the head, because one thing that's best in life is if your AC 20 that does 100 damage hits the head, now there's only a 12% chance that it hits. But the nice thing about it is that 12% is just to hit the head. You still have a 55% chance to hit anywhere else. So it's kind of it's a no-loss sum. There's like no win sum. There's a no-loss sum. You're going to hit 55% of the time, and 12% of the time, you're going to insta-kill this mech. So let's see if we get lucky.
Aye, aye.
Call shot head. We exposed it, but I don't think we exposed somewhere, but we did not hit it. And he is still evasive. So we actually hit the torso with everything, which is not bad. It's only got 70 hit points left in the torso. Now we can use one of our other guys.
Yeah.
Like this guy, and we'll move on over, and he should be able to take out that torso with one shot. This brings us up to the last point of what you'll see. So you see the red line, of course. We've noticed that. That's direct line of sight. There is a dotted line, which means they can see you. You can't see them. So you can kind of see, like, my weapons can't see them, I guess, is a better way of saying it. Like, I can't get them within my weapon arc from there. So if I go back one, like this, I can turn a little bit better. And I don't get the extra evasive charge, but that's okay. Oh, and we're out of resolve. I forgot. So every turn you gain resolve. That gives you the ability to do these special abilities. I get 41 resolve per turn, which is a lot. And it takes, I think, 35 to do a precise shot. So we can't do a precise shot. So we're just going to take a shot and hope we hit. If we hit the center torso with this AC-20, he's going to blow up.
Fire now.
Just like that, one of their biggest mechs goes bye-bye. The pilot
That one's done
incapacitated.
for.
I lied. There's actually a fourth way to take out a mech, and the fourth way is to incapacitate the pilot. Now, usually this is only you're able to do this when you hit the head a few times and but doesn't destroy it, or if they fall down a few times. Every time they fall down, they take a damage, and if they take enough damage, they get incapacitated and they go down. So this is our big boy. What do we want to do with him? Now he's going to have a hard time hitting with almost everything. So I think I'll move into here, which gives me cover and 2 evasive charges. And you can see our PPCs only have a 55% chance of hitting, but it's only got 80 hit points in the torso. So if we happen to hit, I mean, it generates an enormous amount of heat. In fact, it might take my medium lasers off just because they're the lowest to hit. The rest of them are at least a 50-50 shot. The rest are a little bit less. And let's just give that a shot. See what happens. So we hit a few places. Looks like different places. Because when you're not doing a precise shot, it just peppers the mech. It tries to hit the mech, but it does. It's not very precise on where it hits it. It looks like we did a little bit of internal damage, but not much. They fire back. They hit us in various locations that damages our armor, but doesn't get internal. That's what the white numbers mean. Here comes the spider. There are other kind of. He didn't even do anything because he knows the game. He knows that he needs to be evasive. And where'd he go? Actually, I don't see where he ran to. We'll find him. It is your
How's
turn,
it going?
sir. Oh, he ran back there. Where are you going? Okay. So this is a situation where I think I'm going to reserve him. I want to be able to. This thing's got 2 medium lasers and 2 small lasers. Doesn't do as much, so I'm going to reserve him, and that pushes him back around, and then their 55-ton mech's going to go, and hopefully it's going to provide line of sight for me when it comes up. Yeah, there it is. So Wolverine. Wolverines are usually pretty heavy armored. Looks like he missed with a few shots. The bulk of them missed, but he did hit with a few things. And we'll take a look at the awesome in a second here. So he's got 3 evasive charges.
Standing by.
Maybe we'll be able to unsteady him here in a second. So let's move up here.
Moving out.
And this guy's got multi-attack. Multi-attack is free if you have it. So I'm gonna hit my lasers up there. I'm gonna hit this guy with the medium lasers, and the missiles go over to here.
Multiple enemies.
Remember, our missiles are generally not gonna hit anybody. I mean, sometimes, but they are gonna evasive the crap out of him. Although that guy is really good. Usually, that many missiles is able to push the guy over. We'll see if we can finish it with our PPCs.
Yeah, Commander.
What do you got for me, buddy? Let's check out his weaponry, actually. He's got a medium laser, 2 medium lasers, a small laser, SRM-6, that's short-range missiles, and a large laser. So, it's pretty good, but, I mean, it's comparable to this guy, who we can probably take out in 1 round. The main thing that is pretty interesting is you want to move a lot. The more you move in Mech Warrior, the more evasive you are. So, it doesn't do anything to not move. So I think I'm just going to take a shot at this. You'll notice that our AC-20 is pretty low. It's 60% hit range. And if you click on it, it'll tell you why. Target moved is +4, target size is +3, and the shot modifier is +6. And what that means is every time you shoot a weapon, like what do you call it? Ballistics weapon, there's recoil, and if you don't take a turn off, your hit percentage goes way down. And since this guy's still moving, and these guys don't seem like the biggest threats to me, I'm just gonna kind of preserve. Looks like we hit his right leg and his left leg. So both his legs are destroyed. He goes down. And we actually salvage a lot more. I mean, that's a small mech, so we don't care as much, but it is noteworthy. Alright, folks, let's see, go over here. He does have his AC-20 all repped up and ready to go. And let's see if we can precise shot this guy. His head, he's got 61 hit points, so an AC-20, 18% chance.
Take this!
All shot, head destroyed. Alright. So he goes down.
You're gonna
That's going to
get
give us
some
almost an
now.
entire mech to
Yes,
salvage
you
if we
are.
want to. We're going to have 3 sections, and you need 3 sections to put a mech together. At least in the one I'm playing. This is Spider. I want to keep my heat pretty low against this guy because I'll take these 30s off. We're probably not going to hit regardless, and we want to keep our hit percentage low. And the weapons that he's got on him are so minuscule that they're not even going to be able to touch us.
No
Really,
damage
so.
detected.
But it is interesting to note that there is a game plan for just having small, fast, light mechs that can move around the battlefield. Now, if they get lucky and hit you with one of their big guns, you're going to explode, but, yeah,
Commander.
life's not without risk. One thing further to note about the missiles
way.
is that you definitely have a ammo. So you can see we have 270 ammo on this. If we fire all of them, which we're going
Taking
to,
the shot.
So he got injured there.
I think I
And
hit
we
something
actually did a
good.
lot of structural damage. Let's take a look at him again. 270. So we just used 45 missiles. So you can see if you do the math, we got 90, 180, 220. We got 5 more rounds. Yeah, of shooting our missiles. And we're probably, so you can't just start firing
Good
at
to go.
everything. It's probably not the smart, especially in long
On
protracted
my way.
battles. You're gonna run out of missiles. Let's take a look at him. He's got no left side. Honestly, I don't really care that much. I'm going to keep my AC-20 off because
Firing.
this guy he's struggling. He's got no evasive charges. His armor's dwindling. My big guys get to go before him.
Right here. Mm-hmm.
One other thing of note is that if there's ever a capture zone, I would highly recommend that you take out the first wave of mechs before you go out and capture it.
I got
Because
it.
if you do not, you will capture it, and your escort target will be attacked by not only those mechs, but the next mechs to come. So as soon as we capture this, we're gonna be escorting it, and I don't know where the escort zone is yet. I think it's probably over there. And you also notice that once we're out of combat here, we are out of combat. There's no hostile forces in the area, so you can you're gonna move all your units
Moving.
at once.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to
Move
assume
order
that this is
received.
the direction we're going to go.
Confirmed.
So we secured the convoy. Looks good. They are ready to make their way. Keep them alive. They're going to stay near you for protection. So you can see there are 4 APCs or so. And where are they heading? Looks like they are heading up here. This is the escort zone. They get to go first. This is the longest portion. If you like to... Oh, enemy contact already? Oh, crap. So this guy moved way ahead. And the enemy's already up there, so it's kind of a little annoying. The Allied seems to be taking a long time to do. What's going on, guys? I think they're confused. He's going the wrong way. I don't know if this is programmed like this to make you like work harder to protect them or what, but they do have a light mech coming in. Looks like it hasn't entered radar range yet, which is good, because they're probably going to want to... You can see these guys don't have a lot of hit points. Well, maybe you can see if it's ever our turn. Oh, 2 more mechs coming in. A light mech and something else. And another mech. So they came up really quick, actually. Usually we get a few turns. They have 405 hit points, which is not a lot.
Yes, boss.
So even though we can see them, I am going to be sprinting my guys ahead because I need to be in the line of attack.
Affirmative.
I want them to attack my mechs for this. Right over at geothermal. Allied turn again? Wait, what? Oh crap, they're going to go. I hope he doesn't go. No, where are you going? Where are you going, you dummy? No! Oh god, they're supposed to stay near you. Oh, he shot at them. He's got a weapon on him? Alright, that's cool.
Waiting for orders.
Yeah, let's just get as far up as possible.
full
I've never
throttle.
actually lost a convoy before, or even one part of the convoy, but with this guy's amazing brains, I might actually be losing one here.
Commander.
Get up here, buddy. We need you. We need you. Go as fast as you can. Now, I will say, if I had smaller, lighter mechs, I would be going further with these sprints. But, you know, who wants smaller, lighter mechs when you can be charging down the way with your giant super mechs?
Full throttle.
Okay, so let's see if the enemy's gonna go 4 times. Let's see if they fire at us or if they take out that vehicle. Looks like he's coming towards us, which is good. Come on, you bastard. Oh, he didn't even do anything. So one thing to note is that you will see some of these mech warriors have attributes on them. Like he's a defender. Defenders usually have. Oh god, he took like 80 points of damage. That's like a fourth of his hit points. Defenders generally can. He's a tactician. They can do their special abilities. So defenders can go structure exposed. Yeah, I think I'm losing a panther. Hey man, that's on you, alright? I've never lost one before. And you ran up as far as you could.
Let's do this.
In fact, I'm actually going to put him at risk in the line of fire. Just so... I'm going to let this guy fire at my
Acknowledge.
rear. Just so I can try to take some of these out. So, medium laser, SRM, PPC. So I think he's probably my best target, honestly. Although, you know what's fun? Is I might be firing at him too. So let's fire everything at him. Can we get a medium laser at him? I can, because that'll take... Oh no, he doesn't have any evasive charges. Never mind, so we'll go back to A. Yeah, that's more like it. Like, he almost he almost fell just by that. These guys, usually they stick with you. These guys are going like... It's like they want to die.
Standing by. Moving to
Let's get a
position.
Marauder set up. And if anything, we should... Well, let's see. Do I want to try to one-shot somebody? I think so. My other 2 guys are going to go ahead and PPC him, I think. So I'm going to try to use a precision strike on him. And 12% headshot.
Engaging target.
Hey! You got the head. That 12% sometimes really makes your life a lot easier. I would recommend doing it. A high-level tactician with like an AC-20 or anything that's really accurate is pretty nice for taking out one-shotting mechs.
I'm listening.
Kind of have the same situation here, don't we? They got a lot of evasive charges. They got a lot of evasive charges. I'm going to reserve him. And the reason I'm reserving him is I want my other mech to go first to see where because he's got a better... Like, he's going to be able to take out a lot more of them. So you can see there was a head hit there. And like we were saying before, the more, if you get... It's either 3 or 4 head hits, I think. Basically, will incapacitate somebody. And we are going to light it up here. 90% chance just to do some ridiculous amount of damage. Yeah, he died.
Enemy mech destroyed.
And to be honest, these mechs are ridiculously strong. You usually don't put 3 PPCs on a mech. The heat will eat you alive, but just fun. See what our shot is here. It's 18% for a headshot.
Here goes everything.
This is the head, but we hit we destroy the torso on the right arm, which is probably going to take out a few of their weapons.
Scored a critical
these
hit.
guys can just kind of like walk over and step on a PPC. Oh, good. That's our locus on the other side. Okay. Good deal. Shoot at my Orion, which isn't gonna get through the armor. These light mechs are gonna have a hard time doing anything against
Waiting
me.
for orders.
And I think we should be able to knock this guy down at least.
Heading out.
The full barrage of long-range missiles. Oh yeah. I don't think he's got much of a shot here.
Alpha strike.
A little bit of overkill, but one thing I should know is if you do knock
Hostile
them down
eliminated.
through the concussive force of missiles and such, and they don't die, they do
Ready for
lose an
orders.
initiative bar, which is pretty nice, so they immediately move down
Heading
one
out.
initiative. So you can kind of like, work it out. Oh god, that's pretty low. Yeah, but what else are we gonna do?
Locking on target.
So you can see that's a lot of structural damage. In fact, we got the center torso as well. Cool.
I
So
hope we
we
can salvage
lost.
that.
I think that should be about it. We exited combat. We did lose one of our allied escort vehicles, but I don't consider that on me, man. They were running way over there. Maybe I could have put one up further, but I don't know. And it is entirely possible there is one more lance of mechs. If you're not familiar, a lance is what a group of mechs is called. There might be one more lance up here eventually, but
Coordinate 3.
usually 3 is kind
Location
of about
confirmed.
it. Or I mean 2. But we're gonna find out. So they just need to get over to that section, and remember spacebar, hitting it a few times will kind of move their move animation a lot faster.
Affirmative.
So I don't think we get the bonus money for all of them surviving, but the mission should still be successful, I think. Nope, they're sending additional units.
Good work, Commander.
I
Hold
got
this position
something.
until the package is
See,
under.
okay, so this brings me to one of my last gripes about the game, but it's not even a gripe, it's just a small annoyance, I guess. And I'll hold that comment to see if it's true. Hang on a second. Oh, no, there's another lance coming in. Sound the thingies. So, protect it while the next lance comes in. So we gotta protect it one more time. And it should be coming from over there. They're actually pretty big. They're 3s.
Yes, boss.
3 weight classes. So we got an Enforcer, a Griffin, and a Shadowhawk. The Tactician, a Defender, and a Pilot. He's got an AC-10. Large laser and a small laser, AC-5, SRM-2s, a couple of medium lasers, and an LRM-10 and a PPC. He's the one we want to target, so let's move. And this is actually, I'm going to be a little more careful with these guys because our Orion, while heavily armored, is not the most heavily armored item we have. Because I
On
put
the
a bunch of
move.
missiles on it, which takes up takes up takes up the room of armor. So this is one of the situations where I'm going to target him with my medium lasers. Can I? I thought I could. No? I guess he's not within range of my medium lasers. He probably was, but I got him. It looks like he is. Let's escape out. Right click will get you out. Nope, I guess I'm wrong. I thought I must have been in range, but I moved out of range with my medium lasers. I was going to send my medium lasers out here just to get rid of his stupid, what do you call it? His evasive charges. I was actually just looking at his loadout here. I still think it's best to fire at this guy.
Engage.
Missiles going. Ooh, he's already unsteady. Fortunately, he gets. No, it's the defenders. So I think they give me a turn. Oh god, they're going right after these APCs.
Commander?
I'm not. Don't quote me on it, but I think if you engage the
Location
mechs,
confirmed.
they engage you. We are going to try to take a shot. Let's see, that's a 60, that's a 70. We're going to try to take out this guy's face. 12% chance.
Affirmative.
I think we missed, but we definitely hit something that exposed his armor, so that'll be nice.
Right
So
here.
let's move Hugs in to do the same thing. One more precise shot on this guy. See what we hit? We hit his torso, and his torso has his AC-10 ammo. I don't think he has his AC-10 ammo anywhere else. No. So we can try to just take his AC-10 out right here. If he doesn't have any ammo, not only does that hurt, but he explodes. But, I mean, come on. Call shotgun.
Firing everything.
Oh, we got his right torso anyways. Good. So he's got no AC-10
Oh,
ammo.
now
to use.
I'm just tearing you up.
Come on, guys, get out of there. Alright, now our big Mamba Jamba. I'm going to use all my PPCs on him, if possible. I can. He is unsteady, and PPCs do stability damage, so it should be able to knock him over. I can use precision damage.
Engaging target.
I think we missed one. Did we miss one? I don't know. But you see, he loses evasive, he falls over. He loses one initiative and takes an injury. it's ready to take off yet.
Objective secure.
Okay, so now our choice is to leave. We can bug out, or we can finish off these guys. Leaving has never been an option. I've left like 2 fights because we were getting fucked up. And that brings me back to one other thing that we'll talk about in just a second. Enemy contact. There's another one. Oh no, it's this guy. Oh, he stood up. Oh, he entrenched. They're moving in close. This guy's got one arm. They didn't do anything there. That was weird. I'm not sure why they decided to do that. But,
Receiving you.
so let's move back a little ways.
Got it.
What do we got here? This guy's got... Is large laser damaged? Oh, that's his left arm. So we could take out his left arm, and then he would have really nothing left. This guy... I still like this guy as my primary target. Although I'm going to multi-attack to put the medium weapons on him and the LRMs on him. You can see our ammo's getting down. We got about 2 shots left
Firing.
with each. That was generally get rid of his evasive bar. And he is entrenched, so I don't think we'll push him down very well. He is steady, but I don't know if we're going to be able to get him. At this point, I think we're in good enough shape where we don't have to worry. I mean, the APCs are really the ones that
minimal
are in danger.
damage on
Everybody
that
else hasn't
hit.
really taken too much damage, so... Why'd they get to go again? I'm confused. Do we miss something? It's like they're able to move and... Yeah, see, I think the game bugged there. When our APCs left, I think it bugged. They basically got to
Damage is
move
nice.
and entrench, and now we get to go again before we get to go. Sometimes there's little things like that, like reinforcements will come in while you're still like
Mostly missing.
fighting the main group, and they're not quite supposed to. But so
Order?
you'll find yourself fighting like 12 mechs at once. You're like, Jesus Christ! Oh wow! Oh, that's us. Well, that's not us. Yeah, that's the Shadowhawk. Did he move right behind us? He did. That's weird. Anyways, who's starting?
Commander. What's up, boss?
Yeah, he moved behind us, which is not smart. I mean, it does open us up to fight. I think we're going to be able to take out at least this guy. So I'm going to move right behind this guy. You can see the arc that it's firing on. That's a back arc. You can see it on my target is in the crosshairs, and you can kind of see the little red arc that I'm firing on. We're going to go right behind him arc. Right there. And I fear for his safety, because his armor has very little hit points. And we do lots of damage. But let's find out.
Confirmed.
Miss with our... Oh my god! We missed with our big one. That sucks. We missed with our AC-10.
Inflicted
Which
some
would have
heavy
done 100 points
damage.
damage to anywhere on his back, which would have destroyed
Yeah.
Alright, so... Can I get to his rear arc again here? Probably not. I think I can, but I can't turn around to fight him. If I had jump jets, I could. You'll notice most of mine don't use jump jets. Main reason for that is because, well, I like more armor. Some of them do, but let's check out what this guy's got going on. I mean, I'm going to target this anyways. The nice thing about targeting, like, a limb is any extra damage goes immediately onto his torso, so... And this gets rid of most of his big weapons.
This is everything I got.
So you can see that we did a bunch of torso damage there, too.
I'm guessing you didn't like that, did ya?
So this thing is left with nothing. It can basically just walk up and kick us, which still does some damage, but not a lot. And you, sir... I mean, I kind of want to hit this guy. This guy, too. I want to hit everybody is the problem. I guess we'll just focus on this guy. I mean, I don't think he's going to be able to get to our rear arc, so we'll be okay. And this just seems like... We can take out his leg, or we can just fire on everything. I'm just going to fire on everything, because if any of my PPCs hit his leg, his key's going to go down.
All weapons committed.
Doesn't matter. His head was destroyed and took lethal damage.
Enemy mech destroyed.
There's the Victor. He's not worried about, but he still hasn't penetrated our armor.
Well,
This guy's
that
probably
worked
going to come
nothing.
kick us, I'm imagining. Oh, it's our turn first.
Yes, Commander. Yes, I'm there.
What do we want here? And we'll do multi-target again. BBB. This is our last shot with our missiles.
Roger.
Luckily, I think the fight's just about over. Alright, we got to set our torso with that little laser. Yeah, he's not looking very strong.
Scored a critical hit.
And we get to
I
go
am
through
out
more
of
times.
LRM.
I think we're going to take these times, try to take out his head again.
Moving out.
Can notice that our heat's getting to be a little bit of an issue. Called shot head.
Engaging.
His left torso, his left arm. Oh, his left arm ammo exploded. His right torso, right arm exploded. So he's got some feet, and well, he doesn't even have. He's got feet, but he's on the ground. So if we wanted to maximize the
listening.
amount of scrap we get,
Heading
I
out.
might want to take some called shots with very little. Oh, that's right. We don't have the precise size. So the last thing I'll mention is that when a mech is on the ground like this, you get automatic called shots. You don't have to use your resolve to do it. So he's still got lots of hit points, which is good. I'm not going to fire my AC-10 or my SRMs. I'm just going to fire at him. I have a feeling it's going to hit his torso anyways. Yeah, we got his torso. I was trying to hit just his head and then maybe knock him out and we get more scrap, but that's okay.
Mission successful.
So they come pick us up, and we're going to go into the debrief screen, and we'll pretty much round out the video from there. You can kind of see what we get. Destroy enemy blockading forces plus 10% to our payment. Destroy enemy reinforcements is 10% to our payment. I think had everybody survived, we got another 25% to our payment, so it gives us 435,000 in monies. We took no damage, really. We took some armor damage, but that's automatically healed when you between missions. Only structural damage do you need to repair. Everybody gets 2,500 experience points, and you can see who got the most kills. Looks like Hugs over here got 4 kills. Stack Cakes with 3, Retired with 2, and Guan with 2. Nice overall kill. That brings us to the salvage screen. Remember, we picked 4 out of whatever. 4 out of 18 was our agreement. So we're going to get 18 of this scrap. And it is everything that was in the combat. Everything that survived the combat. The ammo, the jump checks, the heat sinks, the SRMs, the lasers, everything. Including the mech parts. Now you're usually going to take the mech parts, right? And the more damage you did to a thing, the less likely you are to get it. So you remember that Shadowhawk that we one-shot? We got all 3 parts here. Because we barely did damage to it. If we took 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, we're going to have a new Shadowhawk mech to use at our disposal. I usually look down here because sometimes in like ruins and stuff you'll see weird items that are worth like $1 million or something. I don't see anything here though. So just a bunch of generic heat sinks, which unfortunately the law of averages means we'll probably get a bunch of generic heat sinks. There is a plus SRM that does 4 damage, but if you look at the kind of value, it's worth 130,000, which isn't that much compared to say the Griffin, which is worth 2 million units. So we got 4 parts. Obviously the bigger mechs are worth more, and I'm going to look for things that actually complete mechs at this point. I can get a Wolverine, 55 ton, the 6K. I can get a Panthers, a 35 ton. Griffin's a 55 ton. I need 1 more part for a Griffin. Yeah, and maybe the Panther. So we're going to take a Wolverine. That's going to complete that Wolverine. Our option is just to take another Shadowhawk. Or complete like the Griffin. Oh, let's complete the Griffin. We already have 2 parts, and then we'll get we'll complete a Panther, and we'll get one of the Shadowhawk parts. So see the value, the raw value is $7 million, which is a lot more than the million they were going to pay us, and that's just the ones we selected. Now you can't sell it for $7 million, but you could. That's basically the buy value. You can see it assigns the rest of it to us. It gave us 2 commandos. It gave us an additional Shadowhawk, I think additional Wolverine, AC-5, a couple medium lasers, a heat sink. So it gave us a bunch of stuff. And that is a successful mission. I don't think we actually need to repair any mechs. We just took some armor damage, which, like I said, we just kind of pound out with hammers later, and it's all good. It tells you what the mechs that we finished. We got the 6K model. We got the Panther 9R, and we got the Griffin 1N.
Is cleared for fighting.
We'll immediately go into my mech bay and take a look at them. That's why all of them are awesome, all of them are fun, and earlier in the game I probably would have used a bunch of them. I'm kind of set with my mechs right now until I get some better assault classes, so I'm going to immediately put them into storage so I don't got to pay that maintenance fee on them. And you can kind of see we got everything we need ready. I did kind of put like 2 tiers here. In fact, this is what I'm going to rename them eventually, like Alpha Team, Bravo Team, etc. So I can keep track a little bit better. One thing that is fun is outfitting your mechs with as much as, and maybe we'll just talk a little bit about outfitting our mechs. We'll find somebody that has, I guess this Orion's pretty good, right? Let's refit this. So let's strip all the equipment, and we'll just talk a little bit about putting shit on. You remember the hard points we talked about? There's a energy hard point, a missile hard point, 2 ballistic hard points, missile hard point, energy, and missile ballistics. Things to note is you need ammo for everything. Oh, look at this. We picked up a TTS. What's that, ballistic one? Yeah, that's worth a lot. It's only like 1.5 million. Must have picked that up last mission. I forgot about it. Plus 3 accuracy to ballistics. So these extra things, it is 3 tons. Kind of takes up some room. But it's interesting. I've never really used that. A lot of this stuff doesn't take, like the comm system here gives you a +1 resolve game. Remember, resolve is what you use to do your precise shots and stuff like that. And the gyros do stuff. Oh, where'd that gyro go? I think that's probably out, like, oh, it's right there. +1 hit defense. I'm guessing just in combat? No, I bet you that's range too. I thought maybe it was just melee, but I bet you it's range too. We didn't do any melee last time, sorry. But let's take a look. Let's see what happened if we just outfitted this thing with the baddest ass stuff we could. Let's put some AC-20s on there. Pow! Another AC-20. Pow! We got... and we need ammo, right? We need ammo for AC-20s. So AC-20 ammo. Unfortunately, this AC-20 ammo only gives us 5 shots. So if we put 2 AC-20 ammos on, that gives us 5 rounds of combat. And look, our max tonnage is completely used without any upgrades to armor or anything like that. So that's why it's kind of hard to decide what you want to do with your weapons. Like, I love the AC-20. I love it. It does 100 damage. If you headshot somebody with it, it's going to take them out. But, you know, the AC-10 does 60 damage, right? Oh, where's that at? AC-10. That does 60 damage and is, well, it's only 2 tons less actually, but I don't know, I still like it better because 60 is kind of it's one of the it's pretty close to taking out a head in one shot. Additionally, the AC-10 ammo is going to give you a few more shots. It gives you 8 shots instead of 5. So the AC-20s are great. You know, you just can't always do it. One thing to note is that remember these recoil? So it's nice to be able to take like a round off of them and fire something else. Like, let's throw an LRM on there. Why not, right? And let's throw a large laser. Sure, right here. Put it over on this side. And of course we need LRM ammo, right? LRM ammo. That's going to give us how many shots? 120 rounds. So that's about 10 rounds of combat, I think. So look at this. This is great. 65 tons of used. We got AC-10, LRM, and a long range. This would be kind of like a long range sniper. If we wanted to, we could put some jump jets on it to make it be able to move a little better. And maybe we probably want we could put the tracking. No, it's cost too much. Let's put the rangefinder. Let it increase our view. The comm system would be another one. And you can see our heat efficiency is actually pretty good. If we fire everything, it's gonna take about 10 rounds for us to overheat. So this is actually pretty good. But maybe you're like, hey, this is great, but what happens if we, from long range, what happens if we're like ambushed? Do we need some close range stuff? Good question. Let's throw some medium lasers on there. Medium lasers are great because they're only oops, didn't want to do that. They're only 1 ton. Where's my long range mission? Oh, there it goes. Same thing with SRMs. Where's my SRMs? Short range missiles. Kind of SRM4s. SRM6s are a little bit more, right? Yeah, 3 tons. So we can throw some SRM4s on here to help out with the short range, and then SRM ammo. There we go. Alright, so it's a nice little mech. It's got a long range, and if people come a little bit closer, we can still fire our AC-10, or does it have a minimum range AC-10? You can kind of look at the range. Yeah, the minimum is 0, so we can always fire it. Optimal's 300, max is 450. Long-range missiles, however, they have a minimum of 180 meters, so you can't actually fire them at anybody close by. Same thing with the... oh, that's it. Good. You will notice that our heat efficiency sucks now, or it goes down a lot. So we're going to sink 30, and it's going to get up to 60, and that can be an issue after a while. I'm going to cancel this. Just want to kind of show you a little bit. We didn't even increase the armor at all. Like, our armor did not increase at all. Like, I usually like to throw a bunch of armor wherever on the forward arc of wherever has the weapons, because you don't want to lose those weapons, right? Then you got to be kicking people. And the legs are nice, but that increases our tonnage. We can't do that. So, do you want to exit and discard all changes? Yes. So let me show you this. The biggest mech I have here is the Banshee, which what I did was I threw lasers galore on this bad boy. It's got a couple long lasers. It's got a couple medium lasers. It's got some small lasers. In fact, let's look at the lasers real quick, because we might be able to upgrade it. Nope. I was hoping I'd have like better increased weapons. The pluses indicate that they're better. Like this one gives a bonus of +5 damage, +1 accuracy. This one gives a bonus of +50% crit. So it's just better. So but look at the heat efficiency on this bad boy. If I fire everything, it's going to make 126 heat, and I'm going to sink 45. And a lot of these heat sinks help. -3 per turn. I know you can get better heat sinks. I saw -6 for 1 ton that were really expensive. I saw them once in the game, but I don't know where they're at. And if I was better at the game, I'd probably know. But I would find all those bad boys and I'd throw them on here. But what are you gonna do? So there is ways to kind of. I mean, the hard points are going to limit you, but there's so many different mechs that you could find the mech you want with the hard points that you want that work out. And so this one, this dragon, this was my attempt to make a melee weapon, or melee guy. So basically, look at his heat efficiency. He never overheats. Why? Because all he has is arm mods and leg mods. Plus 40% melee stabbing damage, or stability damage, 15% melee damage, minus 10% damage from attacks, self-damage, minus 30 defense, arm mod does plus 30 damage. So basically this guy he's fast. His movement's pretty quick. I didn't put any jump jets on him, but I put a lot of armor. So basically he runs up to somebody. I put some flamers on just for the fuck of it. He punches the shit out of him. While he punches them, he flames them to increase their heat, and then hopefully they overheat and such. So that's it. Thanks for joining us. You can see I got 120 days still left, and I'm gonna just kind of play this out and then see where I end with my reputation. The whole point is this mercenary review board. Every time it gets up to I think 800 or something, or every time it gets up to here, you get another star in your mercenary review board. This is the career mode, and then I'm gonna probably download the expansions and start over and see what else we can do now that I know a little bit more. But that's it. Appreciate for joining us. Last thing to note is that in the career mode, it is hardcore. I forget what they call it, but you basically can't load. Whatever happens to you happens. So there's no kind of load save scumming going on. You just you play it out. You see what happens. Fortunes fall, they wave me, which I like. I appreciate that. It gives you a little more. It makes you a little more concerned with like your mechs and your mech warriors, and so it makes you play a little more tactically rather than just throwing everything you got. And I'm sure there's ways around it, but who wants to game the system like that? So, anyways, thanks for joining us. I've been Guandy15. We'll see you next time for another I don't know, whatever the hell we decide to do. Thanks. Bye.